Are you finding it difficult to make money at the moment? Got lots of customers. They're doing okay. Some are big, some are small. But overall, you're not really making enough margin. Now, why is that? How can you squeeze the margin up? How can you improve your margins? Obviously, it's always difficult, but there are some techniques that can help. And here's one shared by MD2MD speaker Julie Holmes that I really like. It starts by drawing a graph, listing from left to right, as per the example, all of your customers and their size. And the typical graph of customers that's based on revenue. The curve is what's known as an exponential decay curve. It starts at the top, it declines quite rapidly and then begins to steady off until you have what's known as a long tail of small customers. So you have a few big customers and lots of small customers and some in between. Now that's a very interesting graph, but that's not where this tip comes from. This tip comes by looking at the same graph, looking at the same list of customers, looking at the same customers from left to right. But instead of plotting revenues, have a think about how much absolute margin you make from your customers. What is the margin you make from each of those customers? Now, Julie, quite rightly in my experience, pointed out that very often your big customers use the fact they're a big customer to negotiate a good deal with you. They're also, because they're big customers, very demanding. And if they want something from you, your sales team, your operations team, you tend to respond with, how high would you like us to jump, sir? How high would you like us to jump? What is it we can do for you? How can we do it? And you invest lots of time and effort in looking after them because they're your biggest customers, of course. But what that means is if you worked out the total value of that customer to you, how much profit you made on that customer, it may not actually be very much because they've got the tightest margin and the highest costs of service. At the other end of the spectrum, on the right-hand side, you've got lots of little customers, and that's fairly obviously pretty tricky as well because although there's a lot of them, each of them spends a small amount with you and they take quite a lot to service. You know, just simply answering the phones, having the salespeople taking the call for that £100 order here and another £100 order there. And then, of course, you've got to enter their details on the database because you've never dealt with them before. They're just a one-off customer. So those customers on the right-hand side tend not to be profitable either. And what this graph tends to suggest, and both Julie and I intuitively think is correct, is that your most profitable customers are typically those in the middle. They're not so big that they negotiate a massive discount and a tough deal, and they're not so small they cost so much to service. They're the ones that just quietly do business with you day in, day out without causing too much hassle, and without negotiating the most tight deal. Where do you make your money? And I'd challenge you to be prepared to sack your biggest customer. Yes, sack your biggest customer. Dismiss them, say you don't want to do business with them anymore. Actually, what I do in reality is I put the prices up. And when they complain, say, sorry, that's what the price needs to be now. And then you're in a situation, you're going to be heads you win or tails you win. Either they're going to accept the higher price and you make more money, or they're not going to accept the higher price. They're going to walk away. And yes, you will lose a load of revenue, but you probably won't lose much profit. In fact, you might find, as I've seen many MDs find, that the time freed up from over-servicing this very demanding big customer actually allows your sales force to go out and find a lot more new customers that sit in the middle there and are really profitable. Anyway, some food for thought. I hope you find that helpful. If you do, please let me know. If you don't, please let me know. Either way, I want to know. I want feedback, please. And whatever, good luck. I hope you find it useful in your business and helps you become an even more successful business leader. Cheers.